Beautiful playing. Bravo. Very good. Beautiful. So Emma, I'm very, very glad to hear you. You're a wonderful cellist, beautiful musician. Thank you for coming all the way. I have two categories to talk to you about. One is musical and one is extra musical. Let's begin with the extra musical first. You are perfect. You're perfect. You're a perfect person. You're beautiful. You're beautifully put together. Everything is in control. You're a wonderful representative of a beautiful education. And that's a problem. I bet you got straight A's in school. Pretty much. Yeah, right. Okay, all right. That's a problem. Because Brahms was anything but perfect. Brahms was a deeply troubled soul. I mean, catastrophically troubled soul. And he had a horrendous childhood. He played piano in brothels because his family was very poor and they couldn't. Every child in the family had to go out and work, and he was a young kid. Imagine what that did to the psyche of a young man. And he had terrible turmoil in his life, and deep affections, and deep fears, and huge passions. And being perfect is a protection against being available to those deep emotions. And that's a problem. I'm really glad you came, because we're going to break you out of that box, okay? And from now on, your life is going to be very imperfect. We're going to clap. Now, what was very interesting was you have a great musician as your partner, and she kept on trying to break out, but she couldn't. And it was very funny. Right from the very beginning, you began, and immediately she said, "No, I want to get out of this." And she tried, and she couldn't, and we went back. So we want to join you up, all right? So that's number one. This is a huge thing, because you're going to have to take some risks in order to go down the path. I can promise you a safe life if you want it. I can promise you a beautiful home with a fence around the garden, and a comfortable life, and a couple of kids, and you know, a lovely life in Canada, or wherever you want. The other thing I'm offering you is dangerous, and it may not be safe. Right? So she's not quite sure. All right, so this is a big issue, and we're not going to be able to deal with it totally in this short amount of time, but I wanted to bring that out. The other issue has to do with what Brahms wrote. What is the time signature of this movement? Don't look. You don't know. Do you know? It's 2/4, but none of it was in 2/4, except occasional moments when Dina reminded you that it was in 2/4 and sort of spread it out. But most of the dum, bum, 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 bum. Every note was played even. So how do we get this piece in 2/4? There was one moment when you got it, which was the climax. When you were at the top, the pizzicato. Would you just do that passage? Do you see how she's playing? Do you see how she's playing it into? It's amazing. Just do that play on the piano. Now begin the piece the way you began it before, exactly the way you did it before. 4. 1, 2, 3. This is where she got impatient. She started to push it. You see, there was a conflict. So now we've got to solve that musical problem, and it might help to make you less perfect. Let's see whether we can do it. So what I'm going to suggest to you is that the first note of this piece is an end of the previous music. And you play that first F sharp as if it was finished, and then you move into 2. So let's try that. We're going to do it again from the climax, and that was great, and you were feeling it in 2. It's a desperate moment. It's like that, and the piano. I mean, there's only there's a speed at which she cannot play it in 2. It becomes 4. So she's at the limit. So let's do that right on there, the climax. And when you get to the F sharp, play it as if it was the end, the low F sharp, as if it was the end of the piece, and then start moving. Okay, here we go. From the climax again. Can you actually help her to feel it in 2? Right, because she needs help. Everybody should feel it in 2. Here. And now she's free. And then 2 G, 2 C. And now we're in 2. Right? So in a sense, you've solved the problem. And what I would suggest you do, instead of playing pizzicato like this, rather and then 2 your E sharp, it's one continuous line. Should we try that? So think of it linear, very horizontal in feeling. And we're doing the beginning of the piece, and before you begin, think of them in D, 2, now 2. Should we do that? So I'll give you one bar before you come the beginning of the piece. 1, 2, yeah. That doesn't sound like an end. No. It sounds bum bum bim bum bim bum bim bum bim. No. Think of Brahms. Brahms was big. 275 pounds of him, you know. Boom, 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 2. And the thing to do is to get to that E sharp. 2 F, and then 2 F, that E sharp, and then she takes it over, here we go, 1, and heavy P. No, it's bum, bum, bum. Let me show you. I'm not a cellist anymore, but I remember that F sharp. And then 2. And isn't that, she's completely free then. So the secret is play and then 2 B, So don't pull it like that, push it like that. Still, you're thinking of each individual note. If you bowed it, you wouldn't think do, do, do. You think do, 1 and 2 and G, B, and now to F, and now D. I go to there, she goes to there, and now it goes to. Yeah, you know, that was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That wasn't a compliment. That was a recognition of Brahms suddenly was heard. So a reaction. A reaction. Don't be perfect. Be alive. It's more important to be alive than to be perfect. Okay. So do it again. And you know what you could say when you got to the end is, oh, thank you. That you could say that, because it's such an incredible opening. Do one more time. 2 and you know, that first F sharp, it doesn't sound like an end. It sounds like, oh, hello. Oh, no. Ooh, ooh. Yes. Oh, yes, the and helper. Yeah, the thing you're not getting is how free that is, because this that's so tense that you so. I'm sorry, I couldn't. Once again. And then and now say thank you, thank you. Would you allow your body and your face to say, ah, thank you? Because that's such an opening. That's a generous, you know, he writes affettuoso, with love, right? That was pretty exciting. And she got really excited. You see, she became a one-buttock player and was just, you know, and you felt released, right? So your job is to release her. Here we go, 1. You don't relate very much to her. She's your partner, she's your other half, right? So try again. So you're going to have to think in a different way. Think of getting to the E sharp. Right, here we go. No, you're stopping yourself. Play the top one, the high one. Yes. You got it. You got it. That's the tempo. But you don't play the beginning at that tempo because it's the same music. Right? Most cellists don't. But it would be wise to do it because it's the same music. So think, ya da dee, now begin at the beginning. Okay, you're too perfect. You're stopping her. She's struggling to get through. When I say you're too perfect, I mean you're in control. Don't be in control. You should watch her body. She's trying desperately to feel it in 2. Do it in 2. Alone. Now play and say thank you. Emma, hello. You see, Emma, how much freer it is? Because she's moving so much with you and giving you that freedom to sing and soar. But it depends on you doing it at the beginning. Should we just try it once again? And just, instead of being so absorbed in your cello playing, you're awfully far away from her. You know, when I played cello recitals, I always used to sit here, because then if it was needed, I could play the top of the piano. Right. Right. But you know, the enormous advantage of sitting here is you're in relationship. You're way over there. Oh, yes. Come and sit here. Okay. This is Dina. This is No, stay there, stay there, stay there. Great, 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 great. Now we're going to get, where's my chair here? I just sit in such a way that you really can be with her. Can you play the left hand of the piano with your left hand? Go back. Just, I don't mean you necessarily should do this when you play a recital, but I want you to feel what it's like to be in a duo partnership with a great pianist. It doesn't feel to me as though you adore Dina.
I do.
You do? Great. Well, could you inform your face about it? All right, so that we all hear that you adore this pianist and you can't wait to make music with her. You know, we have some great models in our music world. When Yo-Yo plays with somebody, you know that he adores the person. Don't you feel that when he lives up the road, incidentally, just a mile up the road, and when he plays, he always says, "I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm so happy to be with you. Oh my God, thank you for playing so beautifully." And you're in your world, right? So we want to get you out of your world. Do once again from the main melody after the thank you. Yeah. You see, look. Do you see what Dina's doing with her body? She's going, she's making a circle with her body so that you can be free with your bow. It's that beautiful thing. Look at her. Be conscious of that. Look. Yeah. She also loves that. You see that G sharp. She loves the G sharp, so she gives a little bit of time. Should we go from there? I can't see. Yeah, here. No. From right from the beginning of it. Now, that's right. And then yes, here it comes. Yeah, that note is so beautiful. That note is so beautiful. I wonder whether it would be worth giving it a whole bow. Would you think? That B double sharp. We want so much sound on that note. But that was beautiful. And can you feel her surging underneath you in two? Do you get that? Great, terrific. Okay, here we go once again. 1, 2, and... Yes. Now she's happy. Right. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? Because now the full musicianship which she has inside, and she's Brahms, really. Brahms was sitting at the piano. And she's feeling now, at last, I'm free. And she can help you by giving you timings and so on. So we're going to do it one more time. This time we're going to do it from the beginning. So now, those are the 16ths. They're quite fast, aren't they? Here we go from the beginning. 1, 2, wait 1, and finish here, F sharp. No, don't get stuck. You're stuck. You don't play da da dee da. Bum, bum, bim, bum, dee, da, dee. Here it is, dee, ta, dee, and then 2, dee, da, dee, da, dee, and here's thank you. Yeah, now, let me just say something. You're worried about your cello playing. And I know because you're looking at your fingers, right? Don't be worried about your cello playing. That's why you spend 10,000 hours in the practice room learning to play the cello perfectly. Forget about it. Now it's about love. All right? So don't look worried, don't look at your cello, don't even think about the cello. It wouldn't be a bad idea to think about Dina and what she's doing, because she's great. And you're held in yourself. That's one of the greatest melodies ever written for cello. And it would be wonderful if we could feel that you love it and you love the triplets underneath you. I don't know a more beautiful phrase than that phrase. Should we do it from dee, da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, da, da. And can you take all concern and worry about your cello? Just forget you play the cello. I wonder if you could do it without the cello. All right, so play that passage. Yeah, I'll take you above. Play. Right. Dee, dee, da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee. Now use the cello because it's useful, but all right, it's from there. Right, yeah. Floating into beautiful. The beauty of this, because you're moving more, you can be much freer. Isn't that amazing? Do from da. Imagine you were telling a story about some knight in ancient France, and then with that freedom. Should we try from there? Yeah, that's right. From the F, yeah. And Dina, if I can place it, it's like a recitative. Do it again. something extraordinary just happened. Really extraordinary. I mean, people in the audience are saying, oh my God, what happened? And the thing that I'm concerned for you is that you don't seem to react to it. She exploded into high passion. And the reason she did it was because suddenly she was released into being in two and that freedom. And you were still worried about your cello playing. Don't worry about the cello. The cello is just an instrument. It's not the end. It's not the reason we do it. The reason is so we touch the people there to be moved to the depth of their soul. Otherwise, there's no point, because there are a lot of good cellists. Don't be a good cellist. Don't even be a very good cellist. It's not worth it. It's too much work, you know, sit in a room and practice and horsehair and gut and what's the point? Unless you have something to say which the world feels touches their soul. You know, these people came from Amsterdam to hear you play this Brahms sonata, not to hear you play a good cellist. Do you understand that? It would be a huge breakthrough. It's physical. Music is physical. It's on the face, it's on the body and the shoulders and the hands and so on. Get a little closer to her. So you really could play the left hand with your left hand. No, that way. I really want you to get this. Yeah, come really. Yeah, now. And let's do that passage again and find the incredible freedom that exists in this music. And allow yourself to react to with your body, with your face, with everything. Okay, here we go. You just do the passage before the recitative. You're right. Can I say, when you move more. Da dee da dee da 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 dee. So you're in two. Don't let it be in four once again. And can you play her chords for her so she knows exactly where to play them by the way you play? Do it again. Since you know you're going to play that way, give an extra bow. Tie. So you have masses of bow for that. That was great. Once again, she's still not quite getting where to play her recitative notes. Another bow. Go to her. Two. Now it's in two. That's gorgeous. Yes. Fill the room with beauty. Emma, fill it. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Play that tune from the D and get who you're playing for. All right? And she'll be perfect because she loves you. Okay, so right from there. Okay. Emma. How old are you? 6. You're playing for a 6-year-old. Who cares about your cello? All right? Okay, so play for him. Change his life. Because if you play this really, really beautifully and give your heart, he's going to grow up a totally different person. And that's why his parents brought him. It's a bit of a risk, bringing a 6-year-old to a music class, right? They thought maybe he'd get something. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, here we go. That D, that's the most beautiful note on the cello, isn't it? Play that note so that it's the most beautiful thing you ever heard. Just that note. Yeah, more beautiful, more beautiful, full. Show him that D. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, and now you play, ready. What about this one? Yes, I love you too. From Amsterdam. Yes, she's got it. She's got it in 2. Now a great moment. Beautiful. 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 So you spend some incredibly valuable years making your hands play this instrument. Now is the moment for you to engage your soul in making the music available to all of humanity. That's a big shift from hands to soul. And you did it just now. You did it. And of course, once you got it into 2, you both were free to do that. You didn't even need to look at each other. Do you remember I said you have to sit right next to the piano? Now you don't even have to sit near her because you feel it the same way, the way Brahms wrote it. And then you're free. And now, if you instead of practicing in a mirror, try and persuade some people to come off the street into your practice room to listen to you. Really. That's what's next for you. Sure, you've got to go on playing the cello and learning Duport's studies and all of that. It's very important. But they are not interested in that. They didn't come from Holland to hear you play the cello. They came from Holland to hear their hearts be moved. And they did, right? Look at their faces. Look at that face. You should take a picture of that face, put it on your practice. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Is that an important discovery? I think it might end up being really important for you. It also has to do with relationship. Everything you do is relationship. Everything. Even when you get up in the morning, it's about relationship. It's about creating a relationship with the world that opens up communication and love. This girl said something very interesting. She's from Chile, and she said, I said, do you think of yourself as Chilean or American? She said, I think of myself as Chilean because I don't like America. And I said, what are we going to do without you in this country? We need the people, everybody who has reservations about our life here, to work with every ounce of energy they have to make this a place they're proud to call their own. And you have a great instrument and great music to do it with, and therefore a great life in front of you. And all these people will come and listen to you and thank you. That feeling of gratitude, you know, gratitude is the source of it, because there's entitlement, there's privilege, and the thing that separates entitlement from privilege is gratitude. And that's what you were expressing, Brahms' gratitude. And he had an incredibly difficult life, but look what he made of it. What a gift. And so now our role is to take the gifts we have, the abilities we have, the mastery we have, and turn it into a gift to the world as an expression of gratitude. And then you'll make her proud to say, I'm an American because I'm making a difference here. And you have no idea what difference you've made in this. He looks a little casual at this point, but you've no idea. He may remember this when he's 31. You never know, right? You know, it's so interesting. Every time I give a concert, I think there's somebody in the audience who's never heard classical music, and there's somebody in the audience who will never hear another piece of classical music. Right? That keeps you on track.
Yeah.
Right. So this was important, I think, for you. And you went here to impress us. You understand that? Most of the time, young people are trained and prepared and set up to impress, to win an audition, to get into a school, to get a job, to do all that. This is not about that. It's about shining eyes, about looking around. Look at that guy. Look at his eyes. He doesn't care whether you win or lose. He cares whether his eyes are shining. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So that's what we have to focus all our attention. And then practice like crazy in order to be good enough to do that. It doesn't happen by itself. So that was beautiful. Well done. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Beautiful.